It's story time today. What happened when I traveled to Nigeria with an expired passport? Hello everyone, my name is Diakola. Welcome back to this side of life. If you are new here, welcome and thank you all for joining me today. So, as you may know, I recently took a trip to Nigeria and I realized before my trip that my Nigerian passport had expired way back like 5 months before I was going to travel. And so I started making inquiries about what to do, how to travel to Nigeria. I'd already bought my ticket and found out that my passport had expired. I soon found out that there were a few options that I had. Options available when you have an expired Nigerian passport and you want to travel to Nigeria is 1, renew your passport, 2, get an electronic travel certificate, get a visa on arrival, or go ahead and travel with an expired passport. So the easiest one is to travel to Nigeria with your expired passport, which is actually allowed. The only thing is that you should make sure that your airline is willing to carry you from your origin, from where you're coming from, to Nigeria on that expired passport. For my case, it was KLM. I called them and also went to their desk and they confirmed that they will carry Nigerians with expired passports to Nigeria. So that was settled. The only other problem with that is that when you are leaving Nigeria, you need to have another passport. If your passport is still expired, you need to have another passport that will take you out of Nigeria. And you should also show the proof that you actually attempted to renew your passport while you were in Nigeria. So something like a proof of payment for passport renewal, so that you don't get harassed on your way out of Nigeria. Now, the visa on arrival, that one is actually meant to be for business people. So it is very expensive. I think it costs about 250,000 naira per person. So that is strictly for business people. You have to, show a letter of invitation for business, and it's all about business people coming to do business in Nigeria. And in that case, you get to Nigeria and at the airport, they will process the visa on arrival for you, but then you have to pay for it. And then the travel certificate, in my case, meant I had to travel to Ottawa, which wasn't feasible with the time that I had left. But that is another thing that you could do. And I think we've done it before on a previous trip to get a travel certificate because we did not have a Nigerian passport. And then when we got to Nigeria, we went and renewed our passports. But nowadays, renewal of passports in Nigeria is not a quick thing. It will take like a month or more. And if you don't have that time in Nigeria, then that means you cannot renew your passport. But you can go and start the process and get the proof of payment, like a receipt, so that you can show them on the way out that, yeah, I still have an expired Nigerian passport, but it is in process. So that is a step that you need to take if you are in that situation. So now, within Nigeria, I was impressed. There are so many digital initiatives in Nigeria now. So if you are going to Nigeria, make sure, number 1, that you have your NIN. That is the National Identification Number, without which you will not be able to do many things. I mean, we had to get our NIN to be able to get a phone, because when you get a phone, you have to link your SIM card to your NIN. And you also need it when you are opening a bank account. It's almost like for Canadians, like what the social insurance number is. So if you are going to Nigeria and you don't have an NIN, you should get one. And I think you can get one in the country where you are in. I know in Canada, there are agents around that can help you process your NIN, and I'm sure that happens in other countries as well. So make sure you get your NIN because you are going to need it for almost everything. And then one other thing I noticed in Nigeria is that every time you do something like this, everybody wants to capture your biometrics. Everywhere you want to get a phone, they will take your thumbprints, they will take a picture of you. You want to go and do your BVN, which is another thing, your bank verification number, which you need to have an account in Nigeria now. That has been going on for a while, so most people probably do have that already. But if you are going to get your BVN done, they will do the biometrics as well. If you are going to get your passport done, they will do the biometrics as well. So yeah, there's a lot of biometrics capturing going on in Nigeria now. I wanted to open an account, and when they checked my BVN records, my last name was misspelled. This is a BVN that I've had for 7 years, and they found out that the name on their records was not spelled correctly, and so the bank could not open the account. So I had to go and swear an affidavit about my name. And when I got to that place to swear the affidavit in Oyo State, they actually had an electronic system to do that. And I just needed to send them my signature and my picture electronically, and then they generated the affidavit. That was interesting. But the problem is, all this different capturing that's going on, it doesn't seem to be centralized. So I'm hoping that is in the plan for the Nigerian government to kind of centralize all these databases, so you don't have to keep capturing your biometrics everywhere you go. But really, it was a very big improvement of digitization of records in Nigeria, which I was really impressed by. So that's a positive thing that has happened in Nigeria so far. Another thing I want to talk about is that it looks like in Nigeria there's this gap, this information gap. So all this capturing is going on, all this digitization is going on, everybody needs to have an NIN, but then there's a lot of people in the populace who are not educated enough to be able to make use of all this technology that is being deployed in the society, in the Nigerian society. And there's still a lot of agency going on, like people cannot fill their own forms to open an account. People don't know where to go to get a confirmation of their NIN. For example, when I wanted to correct the spelling of my name on my bank verification record, I was asked to get a confirmation, a NIN confirmation, a virtual NIN confirmation, and from my bank. And I went back to the bank. I talked to some officials in the bank. They didn't know what I was saying. I called the customer service. They didn't seem to know what I was saying. I kept going back and forth the NIBS, which is the Nigeria Interbank Settlement System Organization, and my bank. The NIBS will tell me, go to your bank, get this virtual NIN. And the bank will say, no, it is the NIBS that should give you that. And so there's this gap in information where even the bank workers who are supposed to know this thing, they don't really know it. So yeah, I had to call my account officer in the bank, and he was the one who finally understood what NIBS needed to be able to identify me, because my Nigerian passport was expired and they needed a Nigerian ID. I didn't have any Nigerian ID. I didn't have a voter's card, and my Nigerian passport had expired. And so, but I had a NIN, and they needed to verify that NIN. And so the bank needed to go to some system, which I don't know which system, and get me a verified NIN that they can now use to identify me, to be able to change the name on my BVN. But I was really impressed that I was calling this NIBS organization, and every time I called, they picked up the phone and created a ticket for me, and I got an email for the ticket that I could now use to follow up with them. So the next time I would call them, I would give them the number of the ticket, and they would retrieve my ticket, and we were able to keep going and keep following up on the issue until it was resolved. So I'm really happy about that. Those are some of the things that I experienced in Nigeria that I was really happy about, the way digitization is being adopted. There is a long way to go, but it is several steps in the right direction. So I'm hoping, and we're all rooting for the government and for all the good people in Nigeria who are bringing all these advancements into the society, that they will keep doing it and keep making people's lives better and better. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today regarding expired passports, BVN, NIN, and all that. And if you are going to Nigeria anytime soon, make sure that you are well prepared and you have all the necessary documentation and all the necessary IDs that you need to be able to get everything that you want to get done. For example, the BVN, you need it if you are interacting with any financial organization. They will ask you for your BVN, so you need it. And in turn, also, they will ask you for your NIN. So make sure you have all that. So that's all I had for today. I hope that helps somebody. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know whenever I upload new videos. Until I come your way again, until the next video, you go out and make it the best days of your life. Bye.